Hello everyone, I'm Bob from ScienceImage. This is a 4K full NDI bi-directional encoder and decoder from ScienceImage. It was very exquisite craftsmanship, and it is also a multifunctional with very powerful and more interesting functions. We can see there are 3 different models printed on the outside of the box. The first is NDI Studio 4K.SH. It means HDMI input and output. The second is NDI Studio 4K.S. It means SDI input and output. The third is NDI Studio 4K.SH. It has both SDI and HDMI inputs and outputs. And all these 3 models support 12G SDI and HDMI 4K60p. And next, it is a bi-directional full NDI encoder and decoder with up-down cross conversion of 4K SDI HDMI and with 4K optical transceiver in it. And all these 3 main functions will working at the same time. Now we see the label on the outside of the box is NDI Studio 4K.SH. Now let's open the box to see what it is inside. We take quick start, and this is device. Wow, it's amazing. This is 3-side taillight and SDI input, SDI output, HDMI input and HDMI output, and this is optical module port, and this is PoE and NDI Ethernet port, and this is external audio embedded in, line in, and the embedded headset, microphone or intercom, and this is USB PDZ port. PDZ could control third-party camera, and this is OLED. Now let's take the DC adapter out, and this is 12 voltage DC adapter, and many power pins for many countries. Users can use these pins in different regions, and it can exchange these power pins easy. Like this is American standard. Let's take it, it's okay. There are 2-way power supply methods for NDI Studio 4K series. The first way is to use DC adapter to supply, which can support 8 to 18 voltage input. Okay, this is power LED, and OLED will display something. And the second way is to use Ethernet cable and use PoE function to power the equipment. And the second way, power LED and OLED. Let's see what performance of this NDI box after it is powered on. And now we use a PoE Ethernet cable to power it first. After 20 to 30 seconds, the NDI has been started. The start flag is that there is an NDI stream name in the second line of OLED, like this, NDI X. So we now give the device an input signals. The SDI outputs from my desk camera is 1080p60 Okay, there has something changed. The first line is the status indication of NDI encoding or decoding. The second line is the preferred input selection and the NDI stream. SDI HDMI primary in, that is when SDI and HDMI have two different input sources at the same time. The user can choose which one to input first. This function can also be used as a switch. The third line is an identification for discrimination whether there is an input signal as SDI and HDMI input ports. If there is a signal input, it will display Y. If not, it will display N, means no. The encoder identifies the signal formats of the current input ports. The fourth line indicates what format the SDI HDMI output. The output format can be selected by the user on the web UI. NDI Studio 4K series share 24 HD to 4K formats to selection. There is another information in line 4, that is the current IP address of the NDI box. If it is set in DHCP mode, it will automatically and intelligent search for device, PC, laptop with IP in the network segment in current network, even if there is no router, and then automatically keep the same network segment with the other device so that customer can enter the web UI to control the NDI box, to control this NDI box and set function and parameters. The function that needs to be specially emphasized is that when NDI encoding is working, SDI and HDMI are also mutual conversion and up and down input format, and the optical transceiver will also work at the same time. The simultaneous operation of these three functions is the main features of this box, which can be used in different ways in your studio. When SDI or HDMI has input, for example, the input format is like this camera, a 1080p60. No matter whether we need NDI or not, we can still make the output to any format you want to select, such as 1080 I-50 or any format of 4K or HD. You can freely choose the format, output format in the web UI. At the same time, the optical transceiver is also performing the format up and down, and the optical outputs format will follow the selection by users and the current status, whether it's to transmitting or receiving, and the specific format will also be displayed on OLED screen.